Was it you who found Chertan?
Aye. Me and my comrade there.
I need to ask you a couple of questions.
I don't know nothing. We didn't do nothing.
You really didn't see anything? You're standing there on the tower, and you don't hear a man getting murdered? That's a bit odd, isn't it?
Are you deaf? I told you we didn't notice nothing.
No, I believe you. But that only tells me you weren't taking your guard duty as seriously as you claim you were.
Well, it's possible.
What's possible?
It's possible we dozed off for a while.
Oh, Christ. I knew it. You two were asleep up there.
No, we might have just shut one eye for a moment, but we wasn't sleeping. We'd have noticed if anything happened there. But before Chertan started yelling, it was all peace and quiet.
What did you do when you found Chertan?
It all happened so fast. Before we could come to our senses and decide what to do, Crow turned up.
Crow?
Aye. He heard the racket and came to see what was going on. And I'll tell you, when he saw Chertan, he went as pale as a ghost. But he snapped out of it quick and told us to wait for him to go and get cats. If it wasn't for him, Chertan would have bled to death there.
As far as I know, there were two of you on guard duty on the tower. What's the other soldier like?
Him? God's teeth. He's the most annoying bloke I've ever met. Can't keep his mouth shut. A complete twat.
Anyone can be a bit of a twat sometimes.
But he out-twats them all. He never stops banging on about the most run-of-the-mill things. Like, he was living in a cave until now. I try to tell him I'm not fucking interested, but he doesn't take any notice. Between you and me, it's quite a relief that this business with Chertan shut him up for a while.
How did you find Chertan?
I don't remember too well. I remember we heard someone yelling. So we ran down to the ammunition store, and there he was on the ground.
Stop, you bastard! Nobody's allowed in here.
But Katz himself sent me. I'm supposed to give a message to Musa.
Then you'll have to shout out the message, because nobody's allowed to see him.
Oh, what are you doing here?
That's what I'd like to know. They just came and said I should guard the physician and not let him out of my sight. Even if he wants a piss, I have to go with him. You wouldn't happen to know what's going on, would you?
Well, if I was you, I wouldn't ask too many questions. You might hear something you'd rather not.
Aye, right. You know fuck all, and you're just trying to sound important. Clear off, and this time for good.
Henry? What are you doing here? Grozov said...
Nah, to hell with Grozov. Katz believes you didn't do it. We have to clear your name somehow.
I truly appreciate that. But I am not sure that is possible. Tinja sireye, mene mene sireye.
What?
It is a proverb from my country. It means the road to truth has many twists and turns.
Well, we'll straighten them all out. Don't worry. But I'm gonna need your help. What happened when you brought Chertan to the infirmary?
I already told you everything. We laid him on the table. Crow went his own way, and I started cleaning Chertan's wounds. Then I gave him some wine to drink, and he suddenly began to shake and vomit blood soon after. He was dead.
And what happened next?
Then the noble lord of Borumlaka arrived and started to go mad.
Did Chertan say anything before he died?
He tried to, but my Hungarian is not as good as I thought. He was coughing so much that I could not understand anything.
What about that wine? Could I take a look at it?
Lord Grozav poured it away in anger before you arrived, so that I could not poison anyone else, he said.
He poured it away? When it could have helped us? The wine was evidence.
Evidence that here in Bohemia you will drink, even vinegar. It smelt and looked the same, as always. Except perhaps it was a little more cloudy.
Where was the wine from, actually?
A bathhouse maid brought it to me along with my clean laundry. A very pretty girl. Black hair, nicely built. Catherine, I think she's called.
Catherine? Are you sure?
Absolutely. But I doubt that she was mixed up in this. Chertan was not the first person I gave the wine to today. The wine must have been poisoned here, in my infirmary.
All right. But what now? How will we find the murderer?
I have done some thinking about that. After all, what else can I do here? The best thing would be to investigate the poison. Every poison has different effects. One makes your hair fall out. Another turns your guts inside out. If we discover what poison was used on Chertan, we just have to find it, and the mystery is solved.
But wouldn't it be enough to search the whole camp? I don't imagine many people here keep poison on them, eh?
You would be surprised, my friend. I may not be an expert, but I know that many everyday things are actually poisonous. What is more, you cannot just run around the camp searching people and then try to figure out which of that horde is the murderer.
How can we identify the poison, then?
That is not hard. I examine the dead body, I find the symptoms of the poison, and I compare them with known effects of poisons. That is, I would, if I could get out of here.
And could I help you somehow? Can't be that hard, can it?
Certainly not. Why study something for years when common sense is enough? I'm sorry. That was not courteous of me. I am sure you will manage somehow. The first thing to do is to go to Chertan's corpse and examine it thoroughly. Arms, legs, face. You must remember everything that looks strange to you. In the infirmary, you'll find a chest. Take from it my almanac of poisons and compare what you saw with the symptoms described there. You can read, I hope.
Aye, pretty well.
Excellent. The chest is locked, but I trust you will manage somehow.
You have a whole book just about poisons. Where did you get it?
I bought it on my way here, in Moravia. I have not yet had time to study it properly, but please, do not mention it to anyone. It would not look good for someone in my situation to have such a book. You surely understand.
Right. Examine Chertan's body and read the book. I can manage that. Who do you think killed Chertan?
I have no idea. But what I do know is that we will not get anywhere if we suspect everyone in the camp. Who do you think is the prime suspect at this moment?
Couldn't it have been just about anyone?
It might seem so at first glance, but not when you give it some thought. Most of the people in the camp respected Chertan. And besides, not everyone can get up to the powder store.
Well, what do you think?
I think it must be someone from here. A stranger, would have been noticed. What is more, most people are not allowed up to the powder store, and I would bet that it was one of us who was there at the time. And because it cannot be you, me, or Katz, that leaves Grozav, Stephen, and the two guards. Someone should question them all. Maybe their statements will give something away.
Well, I don't have much time, but I'll try to talk to them.
I am very grateful, my friend.
What if we forgot about finding the murderer, and I just helped you escape? You'd be long gone before Grozav found out.
Thank you for the offer. But look at me. My appearance is a little conspicuous. There is nowhere for me to hide in this country. And even if I did get away by some miracle, they would punish you and Katz instead of me. I cannot allow that.
Right, I've learned something about poisons. Now I should examine Chertan's body. All right, here we go. Holy Mary, Mother of God, don't let me miss anything, and forgive me for what I'm doing to this unfortunate wretch. He looks a bit ruddy, but is that from the poison, or was he just drunk? I can't see anything strange here. No bruises or broken lips. No signs of poisoning. Ah, what a stench. He coughed up some blood, all right, but he also threw his guts up. Ah, there's no way I'm examining that. That's a nasty wound. I almost feel sorry for Chertan. But why would someone kill him in the most heavily guarded part of the camp, instead of trying to lure him outside? Oh, his belly's hacked to ribbons. Who could have butchered him like that, for God's sake? Almost everything is covered in blood. But there doesn't seem to have been much of a fight. I can't see anything ripped or sliced off. There's nothing missing. Whoever killed him, it doesn't look like a robbery. He looks horribly rigid and contorted. He must have died in awful spasms. Nothing strange here except the stiffness and broken nails. Could he have dug his nails into the table when the spasm started? And what's this here? Something that looks like warts. But did the poison cause them? Or was he a filthy pig and always had them? Completely rigid. Just like the arms. But, oh, Christ, what a stink! Ugh, he shat himself. I've heard it happens to the dead, but that much? Ugh. Maybe the poison did that. That'll have to do. I've found out enough. He had spasms, he shat himself, warts or lesions on his hands, as red as a poppy. But that could be from drinking or lots of things. I mustn't forget anything. That's the main thing.
You again? I told you to clear off. Once more, and I'll smash your face in.
But I'm Moose's assistant, and I need his advice. We've got lots of sick men.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, but nobody's allowed to see Musa.
Look, why don't you go for a walk or something? Who knows what's happening with Musa? You don't want to get mixed up in anything dangerous.
And leave him unguarded? Do you know what Grozov would do if he found out? I'll take my chances here, thanks.
I read that book of yours, and I think I know now what Chertan was poisoned with.
What do you mean, you think? Do you know or not?
Not really, no. I'll have to give this some more thought.
Think fast, my friend.